Hotels have been around forever, serving as places where travelers can stay. They offer rooms, amenities, and services in exchange for payment. You've got your fancy hotels, your mid-range ones, and the more budget-friendly options. Then came Airbnb. It's this new concept where regular people rent out their homes or rooms to travelers. Some people thought Airbnb might take over and hotels would fade away. But that hasn't happened, and there are good reasons why. So let's explore the reasons. Comparing costs. Hotels have a unique way of doing business. They rely on something called economies of scale and scope. What does that mean? Well, it's essentially the idea that hotels need a consistent flow of guests to make money. When there aren't many people booking rooms, like during off-peak seasons, hotels drop their prices to attract guests. But when there's high demand, such as during holidays or special events, they bump up their prices to capitalize on the influx of visitors. This strategy helps them maintain a steady cash flow throughout the year. Running a hotel isn't a walk in the park. It comes with its fair share of expenses. There are two main types of costs: fixed and variable. Fixed costs are the ones that stay the same, regardless of how many guests are staying. These include things like rent for the property, salaries for staff, insurance, and maintenance of the building and its facilities. On the other hand, variable costs are those that change depending on factors like occupancy rates. These might include the cost of cleaning rooms, providing breakfast or other amenities, and restocking supplies. Now, when you think about luxury hotels, they often come with a slew of additional amenities and services, like a spa, fitness center, concierge service, or gourmet dining options. These extra perks contribute to the overall guest experience, but also add to the operating costs of the hotel. The more high-end the hotel, the more expensive it is to run because of these lavish offerings. However, hotels are savvy when it comes to pricing. They use these amenities to justify their room rates, making guests feel like they're getting their money's worth. So even though the price tag might seem steep, guests often feel satisfied with the value they receive in return. Now, let's shift our focus to Airbnb. Unlike hotels, Airbnb operates on an asset-light business model. What does that mean? Well, it means that Airbnb doesn't own, lease, manage, or maintain any real estate properties. Instead, they act as a middleman between hosts, people who list their properties for rent, and guests, those looking for a place to stay. This model gives Airbnb a significant advantage in terms of costs. They don't have to worry about the hefty fixed expenses that hotels face, such as property upkeep or staff salaries. Instead, Airbnb's primary focus is on the technology platform that connects hosts and guests. They invest in developing user-friendly interfaces and robust algorithms to match guests with suitable accommodations quickly and efficiently. When guests book a stay through Airbnb, the company earns revenue by charging service fees to both hosts and guests. These fees are usually calculated as a percentage of the total reservation cost. Hosts have the flexibility to set their prices and adjust them based on demand or other factors. Plus, if a host decides they no longer want to list their property on Airbnb, they can easily remove it from the platform without incurring any additional costs. So, while hotels and Airbnb operate in the same industry, they have distinct business models and cost structures. Hotels rely on scale and luxury amenities to justify their prices, while Airbnb thrives on its asset-light approach and technology-driven platform. Ultimately, the choice between staying in a hotel or booking an Airbnb comes down to personal preferences, budget considerations, and the type of experience travelers are seeking. Managing demand and supply. Hotels and Airbnb are different when it comes to how they handle the need for rooms. Hotels need to make sure there are enough people who want to stay in a particular place before they build a hotel there. This means they have to check if the area is popular with tourists, if there are enough workers to staff the hotel, and if the land is available and not too expensive. If everything looks good, then they go ahead and build the hotel. But Airbnb works a bit differently. They don't own any properties themselves. Instead, they have a platform where regular people like you and me can list our homes or spare rooms for travelers to stay in. As long as people are looking for places to stay, anyone can list their property on Airbnb and make some extra cash. Now, here's where it gets interesting. While there's no limit to how many listings can be on Airbnb, there are rules about how many hotels can be built in a certain area. These rules, called zoning ordinances, are set by local governments. They decide how many hotels can be in a neighborhood or city. Sometimes, these rules can make it hard for new hotels to open up, which can slow down the growth of the hotel industry. But for Airbnb, it's a different story. Since they don't have to build anything themselves, they can expand pretty quickly. If more people are looking for places to stay, more hosts can list their properties on Airbnb. It's like a big marketplace where anyone with a spare room can join in. And because Airbnb doesn't have to deal with building hotels from scratch, they can keep growing without the same limitations that hotels face. This has shaken things up in the hotel industry, causing some big changes. Business models and customer perceptions. Airbnb is like this big online platform where travelers can find people renting out their homes or apartments. It's kind of like booking a place to stay from someone who's just a regular person, not a big hotel company. On the flip side, hotels are pretty straightforward. They're places where you pay for a room and get all the usual hotel stuff, like a bed, bathroom, and maybe some extras like breakfast or a gym. Now, Airbnb has been getting a lot of attention lately because of how different it is from hotels. See, Airbnb's business model is all about connecting people directly with hosts. It's kind of like cutting out the middleman, in this case, the big hotel companies, and letting regular people rent out their spaces to travelers. But hotels have been around for ages, and they've got a few tricks up their sleeves to keep customers coming back. They're all about consistency. You know what you're getting when you book a hotel room, from the service to the amenities. Plus, they often offer special deals and perks for loyal customers. Now, when it comes to money, Airbnb and hotels handle things a bit differently. Hotels usually include things like cleaning in the room price, while Airbnb hosts might add extra charges for stuff like cleaning up after guests. Some people aren't too thrilled about this and feel like hotels offer a better deal. But despite all the buzz about Airbnb taking over, hotels are still holding their own. They've been doing this whole online booking thing for a while now, so they're pretty good at it. And because they've already adapted to the digital age, it's tough for newcomers like Airbnb to shake things up too much. Plus, hotels have another trick up their sleeve: discount websites. These sites gather all the best deals from different hotels and offer them to customers. Sometimes these deals can be even better than what you'd find on Airbnb. So, Airbnb and hotels both have their strengths, but they serve different needs. Hotels have been around forever and offer all sorts of amenities, but they can be pricey because they have to cover a lot of costs. Airbnb, on the other hand, is more about staying in someone's home or apartment, which can be a cool and authentic experience for travelers. But hotels aren't going anywhere. They've been adapting to changes and offering more personalized services to keep up with the times. And Airbnb? Well, it's become a popular choice for folks looking for unique and budget-friendly places to stay. In the end, it seems like both Airbnb and hotels will stick around and keep competing in the hospitality world. They each have their vibe and appeal to different kinds of travelers. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more informative content on travel and hospitality. See you in the next video.